Hi, friends. I hope you're having a good day. Let's review a little bit about everything we've learned so far about insects. We know they have some characteristics in common. They have 6 jointed legs, 3 body segments, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. We know that they communicate or talk to each other. Some will communicate with sound and some without sound, so verbal and nonverbal. Today we're going to talk about how insects work together. We know a little bit about insects working together because we had our ant farm in class. Before we move on, think about how many people live in your house. I have 5 people living in my house. Hold up your fingers. How many people live in your house? Now think about, how do you work together at home? In my house, each of our family members has different jobs to do to help out around the house. And we also work together by trying to use kind words with each other and make each other have better days by listening the first time and helping out if we can. Think about how you and your family work together. Insects work together too. We know about a colony. So lots of insects living together and working together is called a colony. I'm going to go get our ant colony. So our ants here lived in a colony, and sadly, friends, there are no more living ants remaining. But our ants lived in the colony together. They worked together to get their food and store it. They worked together to dig their tunnels. And they had a system for moving the dead ants out of the way as they prepared to keep on working. So here's our good example of how insects work together with our ant colony. So let's take a look at some ant info for how they work together, not only to create their homes, but to hunt for food and how to take care of each other. How do ants find sugar? Ants are always looking for food. They even come into the house for it. Ants love sugar. Any ant that finds some sugar goes back to the nest. As it goes, it leaves a trail that other ants can smell. That way, the ants in the nest can find their way to where the sugar is. You might be noticing lots of ants in your house this time of year. I know we are. Food for ants. Many ants like sweet-tasting food very much. Some ants eat the dead bodies of other insects, and some ants eat only fruit and grass. So these guys are eating grass and fruit or enjoying a spilled drink. This ant is sucking up flower nectar. This says sipping the sweet juice made by the plant louse. So this is eating other living things. The nose of an ant has feelers. The ant smells things with its feelers. Using the feelers, it can tell whether food is good or bad. So this is showing us the ant's nose here with its feelers. And I think that's the antenna, if that's what they're referring to as feelers. So, and here's an example of the ant home. It says, why do ants touch each other with their feelers? It is what they do instead of talking, so that's how they communicate. Ants can't make sounds, but they can talk to each other with their feelers. They're saying things like, I'm hungry, and I know where there's some good food. Let's hurry and get it. So these guys are saying, there's some good food. Ah, I can smell it. This is the way back to the nest. So this must be the chemical trail left by the ant that found the food source. And this says, you're my sister, aren't you? This one is saying, hey, an ant from another nest. So they're communicating, but it's not a happy communication. And looking for the way back to the nest. Inside the dark nest, the ants' feelers help them find their way without bumping into one another. Yeah, I see here now, friends, feelers is what they're calling antenna. So these are their antenna that they're using as feelers. And finally, what is an ant nest like? The nest has lots of rooms. Worker ants take care of eggs and feed baby ants in those rooms. The queen ant is the mother of all the ants in the nest. She lays eggs while the other ants take care of her. So our ant farm did not have a queen, so they didn't have rooms for different baby ants. But we did have a garbage pit. This says a garbage pit in our ant farm. So ants and lots of other insects work together. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about where insects live, or I should say tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit about where they live and how they live. And we hope to also see you on Zoom. We have a Zoom meeting Friday at 1 o'clock. See you soon. Bye.